this content is for kids.
It's not for kids.
Isn't that what I said?
No, it's not for kids. If you are 13 years or younger, this is not for you. Do I have to kill somebody in order to actually make that point across?
No, man, you don't have to kill
Wait
no one.
a second.
Oh, no.
When we return to our planet, the High Court may well sentence you to torture.
He likes movies, we like movies. SeptumSin versus the world. SeptumSin versus the world. SeptumSin versus the world. SeptumSin versus the world. I'd buy that for $1.
Greetings! You're watching SeptumSin versus the World. I'm SeptumSin. This is Kotobuki Jake.
Hey.
And we're here to show you what we got.
Show me what you got. I want to see what you got. Oh boy.
Well, we got a lot here, and I'm going to just take this over and have Kotobuki Jake start us off.
Yep, we're going to do a lot this time. But we're going to try and go quick. My first one is a movie we're going to be covering tomorrow on Inside Movies Galore. And when we're done with our vlogcast tonight, well, 2 nights ago, if you were watching it as it aired, I think. He knows the schedule better than I do.
Monday.
I will hopefully be watching this when we're done. But I am very much looking forward to finally seeing this. Sam Raimi's Darkman.
Yay!
Got the nice collector's edition from Shout Factory.
Already watched my
Special features on there. I will not have time for all the special features, and that bugs me. But at the very least, there's a. I thought there was a. Never mind. I thought there was something that I'm missing here, but maybe I was wrong. Anyway, this looks really fun. I am looking forward to it. Of course, Frances McDormand and Liam Neeson, your stars there. Music by Danny Elfman. I mean, that's a pretty fun bit of stuff going on there. Never have seen this, so it'll be nice to get her done.
Yeah, it reminds me of kind of a old-timey serial superhero film mixed with Tim Burton's Batman.
Good times.
So I've been kind of dabbling in some not so necessarily savory circles, but I had to do this because some series seem to never release. And from what one of those series I've got the first season of, which is Scream, the series. It went on for 3 seasons. MTV released 1. And that's kind of crap right there. It went on to Netflix, and Netflix has already made the statement that they don't intend on doing any physical. So I went to this place called Stinky Tuna, which has been pretty popular amongst goers just to try it out. And they allowed me to get Season 2 on physical and Season 3 on physical for a rather low price. So I at least have them as placeholders. If they ever do an official release, of course, my rule is I will get the official release and replace it right away. But this allows me to at least have it all the way, and if Netflix decides to say, all right, we're done with this, we don't want it on our channel, I will still be able to watch the whole thing, which is pretty cool. I do kind of like the packaging. They do a pretty good job with this packaging. You can see the kind of the MTV logo here, and of course, and they have it over here as well. They do a pretty good job. It looks very professional as they've got it put together. I am looking forward to checking these out, finally watching the whole series. Because I've only watched part of Season 2. Season 1 was really good. Season 2 was fairly decent. I need to see more when it comes to
see that.
All right.
All right. So, If you are avid viewers of our channel, and or Movies Galore, and or Delusions of Grandeur, or you just love movies, you know that Barnes & Noble is currently doing their twice yearly Criterion half-off sale. Technically, Criterion is running their twice yearly half-off sale, but Barnes & Noble happens to be the outlet that I almost always use for this. With a member card, basically it comes to $18 a Blu-ray unless it's something really fancy. So it works out. And the first one I'm doing actually is a 2-film collection that was marked at the typical 1-film price. So that was cool. And this is one that... if you've been following any discussion with our group, our friend of our channel, Mo, is very, very into certain old school slice and dice Japanese kind of films. I missed an opportunity to pick up Lone Wolf and Cub this month, and I may be unable to do it this month, but I'll look for it next time. But in its place, I got another series he's been talking about a lot. This collection is called The Complete Lady Snowblood.
Ah, cool.
And it features the 1973 film Lady Snowblood and the 1974 film Lady Snowblood Love Song of Vengeance, or properly Shurayuki Hime and Shurayuki Hime Uramirenga. These are relatively short films. They are, from what I understand, very bloody. And it says here on the box, Lady Snowblood was a major inspiration for Kill Bill. And I definitely, from what I know about it, the scene with Oren and the bride in the snow, I'm sure was very much the riff on this. So I look forward to seeing it and finding out. Not a whole lot of special features, which is disappointing. But still, 2 of these films on the nice Criterion packaging for $18, I could do worse.
Well, my next one is an anime. So this is a one that's been released by Sentai. We talked about this. And remember why I said it was priority, right?
Mm-hmm.
Well, I've got it, which is Fate Collide Linear Prima Ilia Vow in the Snow.
Right.
But, it's one of the movies related to the series. There's a lot to this particular offshoot series, and not much of it has been released. But I'm hoping that Sentai continues to work on it and get it taken care of. The other one has been postponed on its release until August. But it is pre-ordered, so it's going to come to me eventually. So it's kind of cool. I like having these. I think they're fun. I have yet to see an episode, but they look fun. And if you've been sticking around and seeing, of course, I had a lot of Fate picked up early on.
Yeah.
All right.
Much like I have a lot of Criterion picked up. And once again, on the subject of priorities that we have presented on this channel, I mentioned that some of July's releases were high priority items. And this is very true of this one. And this is the Preston Sturges classic, The Lady Eve, featuring Barbara Stanwyck and Henry Fonda. And this one actually does have pretty decent special features. But that now makes 3 Sturges Criterion films that I have, which is great. I love it. Barbara Stanwyck sizzles, Henry Fonda bumbles, and Preston Sturges runs riot in one of the all-time great screwballs, a pitch-perfect blend of comic zing and swoon-worthy romance. So basically, Stanwyck is a card sharp on a cruise liner who decides to con Fonda's nerdy snake researcher, who happens to be heir to a brewery fortune. I want to be a snake researcher who is a heir to a brewery fortune. But anyway, 1941 release. Actually, I think the same year as Sullivan's Travels. It was Sturgis was a hard-working dude there for a few years. But yeah, this is a really good film. I've been wanting it for a long time, and I'll be very happy to see it again.
Well, for those of you who are monitoring this channel and you've been keeping up, I did do a presentation about this because it was sent to me, and I have to thank Anadina Films for doing so. And that is the 90s release version of Death Toilet and Death Toilet 2. You get more of an in-depth look in that video. I actually go through it all. There's not much to this really, but you remember those CDs that used to like have the double? I guess that's what they were going for. So it's kind of cool. It's going to be up on SRS's store. So if you haven't got a copy and you don't have a copy of these films, which they are fun to have, you can get them together in this nice compact package. Given it, very compact.
It is that.
So that's going to be fun, I know. All right.
Can I go?
Your go.
Okay. So, and now for something completely different, but still Criterion. This was another one that we talked about the release couple months ago. I think this came out very shortly before we started our current tier maker system. And I mentioned at the time that it was probably going to be a priority for me, if only because it's a Best Picture nominee that I've never seen based on a book that I have actually read. And so I'm very curious about this. This is the 1991 Barbra Streisand directed film, The Prince of Tides, which featured Streisand with Nick Nolte. And it's basically based on a book by Pat Conroy that is a pretty good read. It does have quite a few special features there. But like I said, this is the Best Picture nominee I've never seen, and actually one of the very few from the 90s that I've never seen. So I need to pick up the Criterion edition of Howard's End either this month or in November, and make sure to watch those two so I can knock those off the list. But but this was I had to it happen sooner or later. It ended up happening sooner. You there?
All right. Sorry about that. Had to go and grab something.
I see.
So you're not the only one who's been doing some Criterion buying. I've got like 3 titles in this pickup. One I think we're going to be sharing at the end. But for the longest time, I had this cheap dollar version of Carnival of Souls, which was one I actually watched and I said, this is pretty good for $1.
Yeah.
And it was a very intense movie. I'll give it that. It's one I need to see again, but I remember being creeped out by it. I mean, the visual quality on this is what you expect from $1. You remember? I don't know if you remember seeing these like thin ones.
Oh yeah,
they put in the grocery store aisles and stuff like that. Back at the height of physical media. Now, this I can finally. I might put this away. I don't think I'm going to sell it because I just like having the old copy. I finally upgraded to the full-on Carnival of Souls Criterion. So that's pretty cool. It's a Blu-ray. It's got some decent stuff on it. It has a thing there, The Movie That Wouldn't Die, a documentary on the 1989 reunion of the cast and crew. updates on the locations, deleted scenes, outtakes. So it's got a lot of decent stuff on it.
Mhm.
And I've done this for a while, and I figure I might as well get it just in case, so I can have it upgraded finally. It'll be cool to see it higher,
Right.
to be sure.
Right. Now, my next one is also an upgrade of sorts. Technically, it's a replacement. I saw a series a while back and loved it and jumped at the opportunity to get the old ADV film. But if I remember correctly, I think I ordered it off of eBay, I think. And the one I got was, not to put too fine a point on it, kind of shitty looking. And when we had our mold scare a few years back, I ended up chucking a few things, and I ended up chucking that one as a result of that, I believe. But I've been looking for an opportunity to get it again, and one thing that the next few have in common, they're all Rightstuf pickups, mostly from actually prior to the current sale, but I think this one maybe was part of it. I'm losing track because they're shifting all my, like I got something today that tells me that everything I just ordered a couple days ago and most of the stuff that was back ordered is all being shipped.
Yay!
Last week I got a notice that one random item is shipping. But there's still one item I ordered in May that I have.
I still have one back from December.
Yes. So, but anyway, this is a really fun one. Awesome openers and enders. It's a really good late 90s mech series that's a follow-up to a classic series. And that's called Bubblegum Crisis Tokyo 2040. Got the Anime Classics edition from Funimation. Much more compact than that original edition I had. Much more compact. Because that was one of those big, thick boxes.
Oh, I have it.
Yeah. But this is a really fun show, and I'm really glad to finally have it back in the collection and to have a shiny new copy that doesn't look so ugly.
Well,
Yeah.
I mean, my copy is not ugly. I mean, look at that. That's not that ugly.
Well, mine was water damaged from the word go, but it was that same edition.
Yeah, this one's not water damaged, but I still thought, it's a pretty cool,
Yeah.
a pretty cool set. I admit, it wouldn't be bad to get it slimmed down a bit, but
Right.
there's a part of me that really has an attachment to some of these old ADV
Right.
sets. It's sort of like When They Cry, because that entire series went on sale for
Oh, well, you got the cool art box for that. You got to keep that.
So, it's just like, I've got it all already. I'm just going to leave it like that.
Right.
But I also got some anime from the sale, 2 anime items on my pickups here.
Mhm.
One of them is, finally I pulled the trigger on Flying Witch.
Oh, nice.
I think it was like $10. It was, it was worth getting on this. I didn't get the nice art box that you did, but it's still. I think it's one of the series you said to make sure that you're wide awake when you're trying to watch it.
It's supposed to put you to sleep, but in a good way. Which actually, again, I've started watching Natsume's Book of Friends. I feel like it's in that vein, and I've read 2 volumes of the manga for Flying Witch, and it's that sort of series.
I was gonna say Natsume's Book of Friends didn't put me to sleep. I actually enjoyed
Like I said, it's relaxing in a good way.
in a good way.
Another series that I've started reading the manga, and I think I've actually read 7 volumes at this point, and I'm loving it. I'm really enjoying it. But I refuse. The next 3 have in common that they are Funimation titles that I flat refuse to pay Funimation prices for, and I ended up getting all 3 of them for slightly less than $30. So for a full series, that's actually not bad from them.
Nope.
And this one is, and all 3 of these, 2 of these, I was waiting on since freaking May, and I finally got them last week. And one of those is this series here, Miss Kobayashi's Dragon Maid, which, again, I've read a lot of the manga, and I love it. It's a fun series. and it's a very highly acclaimed anime. And I really, 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 really wish someone would get on the ball and release this manga series. I can't understand what my husband is saying because I love that one too. But this is such a fun series. It gets a little perverted at times. It's definitely ecchi at times, no doubt about it. But at its center, it's a really well done story, and it's just fun. Fun. And like I said, I ended up getting it for like $27, which is so much less than it usually goes for. And I think right now it's on sale for like $34, isn't it? So
it's actually I thought I saw it for 20 something, but I can't.
Well, a lot of right now, most of the funny titles are like 33, 34 if they're on sale. So, but there actually were a couple earlier. Like I said, there was that rolling thing where it was like between Funimation, Rightstuf, and Amazon. There was a Funimation deal where it migrated from one site to the other, and this was part of that. And I can't remember if this was from Rightstuf. I know that because it took so long to arrive.
So, my next one is actually the first. What do they call it? First review copy I think I've ever been sent, where I didn't have to pay anything. Well, this is usually I'm given usually I've gotten a director to give me a deal before, where I just purchase direct from them. I say I'll try and review it. I can't guarantee a good review, but I'll review it, and they say okay, we'll bundle something. But this is my first one here, which is Cool Summer, which I've already done one review on. Prior to on the Anhedenia project. That's actually, this is Evan Jacobs' newest film from Anhedenia Films. It's the third of his animated. You can tell this is an early release because of the. But there is going to be an official release coming soon through SRS, and it'll be worth picking up. I really like these, and you're gonna. I did a rewatch of all three films back to back over. And actually did a full-on review of them, which is coming this Thursday, by the way. And that, I'm just going to tell you right now, they're really good films. Yes, the animation doesn't look great, but it's one guy doing it, and he's never done animation. But when you go into the story itself, it's well worth it. I would recommend it. I mean, they're only like $10 a film. They're usually pretty cheap to get the physical. So this is the third of the series so far. This takes place like right before the events of 1985, 1986, which was the first of his animated films. And it's got that. You ever been like you had like a summer when you were young and you were just reckless, and then something kind of semi-dangerous happened, but nothing actually came of it? That's the kind of thing that happened there.
Okay. So next up, and I know you'll feel me on this, the whole idea of waiting until you get a good price, is a series that I know you very much enjoyed. And we watched the first episode together. We both were very taken by it. This is another one that has an extremely high overall rating, but I still held off, and I'm glad I did because I finally got the whole damn thing for $27, and that is the series Goshe.
Oh, lucky person.
Very, very happy to finally have that one in the collection. And I mean, it's such a cool looking, like, you look at all that, just really nice. It doesn't have the slipcover, which is annoying. But again, this is one I ordered. Yeah, you had to go. You have the 2-part, right?
I have the 2-part. I did get it on a deal, but not as good a deal as you did.
Right, but I have been wanting to watch this full series for some time. I'll probably still be waiting for some time, but this might be a good one for us to put forward for an anime month sometime soon.
It's a good series. It's well worth seeing.
Good times.
Probably one of my favorite series. I didn't make my list because I haven't watched it again in a while, but definitely.
Right.
So my second criterion is one I am not as I am not as willing to snub DVD. I am willing to I will go with Blu-ray depending on what is available. But if it's a DVD and Criterion, with Criterion they do 4K restoration or 2K restoration for their DVDs, which is pretty darn good anyway. And that was this one here, which was Lone Wolf, and which Mo had.
Almost.
Which Mo had actually gave my interest in, and if you haven't, you should check out Drunken Master Studios. He's kind of gotten flagged on some, but he's got them archived, so I think he's got placeholder episodes with the link to the archive. But it has like a whole bunch, and this was by an artist, and there's only like one anime that I know of that actually got released from his manga, which was Crying Freeman, which is sad because this is supposed to be this was a much better manga. I've read the manga, and it is a much better manga than Crying Freeman, but that's not saying much. But essentially, you've got this samurai who's traveling around with his child, and I'm not going to spoil the rest of it, but that's the gimmick here. So you got Lone Wolf and Cub, Sword of Vengeance, Baby Cart at the River Styx, Baby Cart to Hades, Baby Cart in Peril. Well, I guess if it's in Hades and the River Styx, I would think they would be very much in peril at that point. If there's anything in it.
Perilous.
But not the baby, just the cart. That cart's in some bad places. Baby Cart in the Land of the Demons. Yeah, that's not much better, really. And then White Heaven and Hell. So some pretty good stuff. And it's got some cool special features. Also on it, I want to say there was, according to Mo, there was a full movie on here. Because I want to say he said it was Shogun Assassin, but I wanted to, high definition presentation of Shogun Assassin, which was kind of an adaptation of the first two of the films. So you've got that. I mean, that's pretty awesome. You get an extra film for free, which happens also in another one we'll be talking about later. So pretty awesome.
Yep. So also pretty awesome. We have a series. This is the third of the 3 Funimation titles that I waited. This one I didn't wait as long on. This was one that has been on my radar for about 3 years now, I think, ever since I saw the film that is a loose sequel to this series. And we waited for a while for them to announce an American release, so much so that he jumped the gun and ordered a foreign copy. But I waited, and I ended up getting, I think, a slightly bad. I think this was 26. And that is Masaki Yuasa's precursor to The Night is Short, Walk On Girl, The Tatami Galaxy. This is not as nice an edition as your British edition, but it's kind of cool, though.
I've been very tempted on it, but it's just my edition. It's not one that I watch a lot, so I'm not like going, oh, God, I need to watch this all the time. I can hold off and watch on my region free play, but just so nice.
But I do want to see this, because Night is Short, Walk On Girl was a very unique movie. And from what I understand, this one will be a similar experience in some ways.
Is there an English dub track?
Apparently not.
Okay. If there was one, I would be willing to go ahead and get that version. Because
that is surprising. You would think they would have dubbed it. It's Funimation.
It's a crap ton of reading.
Oh, that's probably why.
So yeah, you're gonna. Think about Zetsubo Sensei level of.
Well, at least they didn't bitch out like everyone seems to be doing with Zetsubo Sensei.
Yeah, one day.
Right. One day.
So speaking of Funimation on the Rightstuf sale, a lot of their essentials have been going on sale for around 15, which is pretty cool. And I finally got a series you got. I think you got the main version of this. You might even have gotten the special edition. I don't remember. But this is Maria the Virgin Witch. Did you get the premium? I can't remember.
I wanted. No, there wasn't a premium of that one. I would have got it if there was. I believe I ended up getting the essential and then kicking myself because I then had availability on the regular, but at the time there was no availability on it.
Well, the essential doesn't look all that bad.
No, it doesn't.
And as far as what's inside it, all you're really getting, if you're going for the regular release, is the cover. That's it.
Yeah, pretty much.
That's all you're paying for. So I'm not too bad about it. If you want to hear more about it, you should check out his pickup on it. He does a good job of explaining it. I don't feel like explaining it, so you're going to have to go over there.
Plus, I have seen the show. Have you seen it yet?
No, not yet, but it's on my list. I got to finish Fairy Tale first.
We're switching gears here slightly, going from a show that I've seen and you've not, to a show where I've seen part of this, but not all of it. So, one thing that has been a running theme on our recent pickups is my attempt to slowly but surely finish a particular franchise. And you know, Brandon, last week that I cursed aloud on the group that Rightstuf forced my hand on a purchase. I mentioned a couple of the things, but I'm going to lead off with something I actually got from Best Buy a couple weeks back, but I'm going to do this all as one just to save time and get her all done.
Get her done.
Get her done. Again, this is the one piece of the franchise I already had, and I will be keeping my Pioneer copy. But I could not pass up for $10 getting Sailor Moon the movie R on Blu-ray. But the really big thing is Rightstuf put most of the series up on their birthday sale.
Viz Weekly sale.
And so I now have Sailor Moon R Part 2.
Woo!
And Sailor Moon S Part 2. So not counting Crystal, which let's not talk about that. I now have the entire franchise except for a couple of the movies. So, yeah. They still cost a lot more than I wanted, and I didn't get the art cards that would have come with the special editions. But really, the only difference with these and the special editions is the art cards. So, screw it. Yeah.
That's pretty awesome. I got one equally as awesome. Ringers.
Woohoo!
Something that you can find at the Dollar Tree a lot, which is kind of a Lord of the Rings fan documentary. And it's actually kind of entertaining. I am sad I've been holding off on it for a while, but it came with that 4 documentary set. It's one of the 2 like dollar ones. That one and the Comic-Con one were the cheapos. Mm-hmm. And then the other 2 were the not so cheapo. And the Robin Williams one and the How to Live Forever. So it kind of evened out price wise. But this here, it's fun. It's entertaining. If you want to know more about like Tolkien and a lot of the roles of the fans and all of this stuff, it's kind of cool to see. I really enjoyed it. It was a fun watch.
Good times.
So you see it at the Dollar Tree, pick it up. It's worth $1.
It sounds interesting. All right. Now, if you see this one at the Dollar Tree, you can count yourself lucky. It ain't never going to happen. So we have something that we both are going to present for our final one. So I guess you need to bring it up. And then,
actually, why don't you present the front side? I'll present the back side, and then we'll have them both there together.
So, are we ready?
Yeah. And
Bruce Lee, his greatest hits. The lovely Criterion edition. Look at all those bonus features.
That's a lot of bonus features, including an entire movie. Game of
4K digital restorations of The Big Boss, Fist of Fury, The Way of the Dragon, and Game of Death. 2K edition of the 1973 theatrical version of Enter the Dragon, as well as the special edition Enter the Dragon, as well as Game of Death 2 and Game of Death Redux, as well as more stuff. Lots more stuff.
And let's talk about Game of Death Redo. It's got some extra scenes put back in of the real Bruce.
Right.
And I mean, of course, it's notorious because he died while filming that film. I remember as a child, my father showing me that scene. I never saw the full movie until late on. And I have my old Bruce Lee sets, which are there. And for the first time, you've got Enter the Dragon in a complete set. I have my Enter the Dragon sitting there on the side with my other Bruce Lee collection, which had some, but nowhere near the number of these.
That's the one with Chuck Norris, isn't it?
No. You're thinking of Way of the Dragon.
Oh, right.
And again, I can't remember what the American...
It's confusing because they retitled almost all of these, not all of them, but...
Big Boss was Fist of Fury in the United States. Fist of Fury was Chinese Connection.
Right.
Way of the Dragon was...
Return of the Dragon, wasn't it?
Return of the Dragon in the United States. Enter the Dragon was a United States production, so it was Enter the Dragon. And...
which is why I was thinking Chuck Norris with that one, but whatever.
Enter the Dragon was the guy with the claw hand.
The claw.
It's the one that they kind of based Mortal Kombat on.
Right.
So
at any rate, this is like the definition of a priority pickup. Although both of us were very happy to get it at half price.
Oh, yes.
But this thing sold out. You don't usually think of Criterion selling out right away. But this sold out. They sold out on their website, I think by the day of release.
Oh, yeah.
I went into the local Barnes & Noble, and of course there was no copy. I had to help him find the Lady Eve. But he looked it up on the computer. He's like, we have a copy in Williamsburg. But I was amazed how quickly they were able to get one to me. But... yeah, this is every now and then you'll find a set that they clearly strike the popular. They hit on the what am I trying to say? The hearts and minds of the audience.
I remember that because I was up on the morning the sales started because I wanted to get my orders in.
Right.
And I worked that day anyway because I might have been sick that day. Either way, I found it, and I was like, okay, I've got to get this now. And then I was told, later in the afternoon by the group, they're sold out. So I was very happy to get this. I actually watched a video, Wet Movie One, if you go and check him out. He does a hunt for this. And somebody actually, because he bought it full price, and it's like, well, let me see if I can find it at the Criterion price and I can return the one I bought at full price. So he found the Barnes & Noble, and somebody actually had one of these in the back. So luck was with him. That
yes.
Day. But you should check out that. It was kind of an entertaining hunt for Criterion. And, it's cool to see stuff. He's very eagerly interested in buying. I'm always interested in seeing what people want to buy. Right. And that's one of the cool things about the pickups. So with that being said, I hope you all have enjoyed this. Of course, if you have, click that like button, subscribe, and share. And we're going to run to start the vlogcast. And
actually, if you have not watched our vlogcast, we're going to be discussing Criterion with everyone in the group, and it should be fun.
Oh, it's gonna be great. Yeah. Well, we'll see you next time.
All right.